right.
Todos de pie.
You all may be seated.
Pueden tomar asiento. For the record, Your Honor, Sylvia Fisher, Court Interpreter.
Thank you. This is the 5 p.m. initial appearance calendar for January 21st, 2025.
Esas son las vistas iniciales de las 5 de la tarde para el 21 de enero del 2025.
The court's orders for the taking of DNA samples and fingerprints made on the 1st of this month will apply to all matters on this calendar.
Las órdenes judiciales en cuanto a la toma de huellas dactilares y las muestras de ADN que se emitieron el primer día del mes se aplicarán a todas las audiencias para el día de hoy.
I will be calling you each up to the podium one by one.
Voy a convocar a cada uno de ustedes para que se acerque al podio de forma individual,
where I will ask you for your first and last name and your date of birth.
Les voy a pedir que me den su nombre completo y su fecha de nacimiento.
I will advise you as to why you are here today.
Les voy a informar con respecto a la razón por la cual se encuentran aquí.
Whether or not an attorney has been appointed to you.
Si se les ha designado un abogado para representarlos.
What your upcoming court dates are.
Les voy a informar acerca de sus citas judiciales en el futuro.
What your bond will be if you are eligible for bond.
Les voy a informar acerca de su fianza. Se reúnen los requisitos para que se le den una fianza.
And your release conditions.
Y también les voy a informar acerca de sus condiciones de libertad.
Mr. Ramon Lopez, will you please come to the podium?
Señor Ramón López, por favor, acérquese al podio.
And Mr. Arturo Garcia Gutierrez, if you'll please have a seat in the chair.
Arturo García Gutiérrez, por favor, tome asiento en la silla.
Hello, and welcome. Hey, thank you for that share right there. Hey, what up, Luz?
Mr. Lopez, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Señor López, por favor, su nombre completo y su fecha de nacimiento.
Ramón Espinosa López, 83167.
Ramón Espinosa López, 83167.
You are here for two matters.
Usted se encuentra aquí por dos casos distintos.
You have one new case and one violation of probation.
Tiene usted un nuevo caso y también un caso de quebrantamiento de las condiciones de su régimen a prueba.
As to your probation violation, I did appoint an attorney to represent you.
En cuanto a su caso de quebrantamiento régimen a prueba, le he designado un abogado para representarlo.
You will have a probation revocation and possible disposition hearing on January 28th at 8:30.
Usted tendrá una vista incoatoria de no culpable de quebrantamiento régimen a prueba y también una posible audiencia resolutoria el 28 de enero a las 8:30 de la mañana.
You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500.
Tiene usted una fianza carcelaria con garantía de $500.
On your new case, you were charged with possession of a dangerous drug, a class 4 felony.
En cuanto a su nuevo caso, se le acusa de tenencia de drogas nocivas, delito de clase 4.
And criminal trespass, a class 3 misdemeanor.
Y también entrada ilícita, falta de clase 3.
I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter as well.
En este caso también le he designado un abogado para representarlo.
You will have a probation, I'm so sorry. And you will have a status conference hearing on January 27th at 8:30.
Tendrá usted una audiencia de actualización en este caso el 27 de enero a las 8:30 de la mañana.
And a preliminary hearing on January 30th at 8:30.
Y también una audiencia preliminar el 30 de enero a las 8:30 de la mañana también.
You have a secured appearance bond, which will be a placeholder bond in the amount of $50.
Usted tendrá una fianza carcelaria de $50 solamente para indicar a la oficina del sheriff que está detenido.
So between the three cases, you will have a total secured appearance bond in the amount of $550.
Entre los tres casos, tendrá usted una fianza carcelaria que asciende a $550.
If you are able to post bond, you do need to contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release.
Si llega a depositar la fianza, tendría que contactar a su agente régimen a prueba en un plazo máximo de 72 horas.
You must appear for all of your court dates.
Tiene que comparecer a todas sus citas judiciales.
If you fail to appear for your court dates, the bond that you posted will be forfeited.
Si no comparece a sus siguientes citas judiciales, la fianza depositada se puede decomisar.
Another warrant will be issued for your arrest.
Y se emitirá una orden para su detención.
And a bond would likely be imposed.
Y es muy probable que se fije otra fianza.
That takes care of everything that we can do here today.
Con eso terminamos con todo lo que podemos hacer esta tarde.
If you will step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
Si pasa a su lado izquierdo, el oficial le entregará a usted su documentación.
Hey, what up, Hot Mess Express? So, for anybody that's wondering why it's Spanish, is he doesn't speak in English.
Mr. Garcia Gutierrez, if you will please come to the podium.
Señor García Gutiérrez, por favor, al podio.
But don't worry, there should only be a few. Then they'll just go ahead and switch over to the English speakers, if you will.
Sir,
Hey,
can you
what?
please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Por favor, señor, su nombre completo y su fecha de nacimiento.
Arturo Santiago García Gutiérrez,
Come again?
¿Y su fecha de nacimiento?
1-26-87.
Arturo Santiago García Gutiérrez, January 26, 86 o 87?
87.
87.
He's on a good one.
You are here on a new case.
Usted se encuentra aquí por un nuevo caso.
Tita, thank
You've
you for
been
the
charged
likes.
with one count of taking contraband into a correctional facility, a Class 2 felony.
Se le acusa de usted de introducción de contrabando en una instalación correccional, delito de clase 2.
He used a prison wallet.
One count of possession of a dangerous drug, a Class 4 felony.
Una acusación de tenencia de drogas nocivas, delito de clase 4.
And one count of possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony.
Y un punto acusatorio de tenencia de adminículos para el consumo de drogas, delito de clase 6.
I did find probable cause as to all three counts.
Determino que hay fundamento de procesamiento en cuanto a las tres acusaciones en su contra.
And I have appointed an attorney to represent you.
He designado un abogado para representarlo en sus tres casos.
Hey, that fool's not enough.
You will have a status conference hearing on February 5th at 8:30.
Tendrá usted una audiencia de actualización el 5 de febrero a las 8:30 de la mañana.
And you will have a preliminary hearing on February 7th at 8:30.
Y también una audiencia preliminar el 7 de febrero, también a las 8:30 de la mañana.
You are being released today on your own recognizance.
Se le va a poner en libertad bajo caución personal el día de hoy.
But you do have to promise to appear for those court dates.
I promise.
Tiene que prometer comparecer a sus siguientes citas judiciales, señor.
Do you promise to appear for those court dates?
¿Promete usted comparecer a sus siguientes citas judiciales, señor?
Sí.
Yes.
If you fail to appear for your court date, a warrant will be issued for your arrest and a bond will be imposed. Do you understand?
Si usted no comparece a sus siguientes citas judiciales, se va a emitir una orden para su detención y se va a fijar una fianza. ¿Comprende usted?
Sí, sí.
Yes, yes,
Sí.
yes.
If you will please step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
Hey, all right,
Pase a
so
su lado izquierdo y el oficial le entregará a usted su documentación.
sometimes they do this in full screen, so today is
Mr.
not
Fisher,
full
can you
screen.
inquire to see if anybody else is in need of your assistance?
¿Hay alguien más que ocupe de los servicios de la intérprete? En caso que sí, por favor, levante la mano.
So when they don't do them on full
Is there
screen,
anybody in there to see if they're raising their hand to see if they...
there's no way for me to fix it.
Is
So-
anybody raising their hand indicating that they're in need of an interpreter?
But if you go to my YouTube
Okay.
account,
Ms. Fisher, you may be excused. Thank
on my
you.
YouTube account, it
Thank
looks
you, Your
better.
Honor.
If you want to jump on.
Mr. Damaris, if
on
you will
that
please
platform.
come into the courtroom, and Mr. Moya, if you will please have a seat in the chair.
Oh shit. They moved it. Hold on, you see? Damn.
Sir, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Adam Dimmers, 12/11/1990.
You were here on two matters. You have one new case and one violation of probation. I'm going to talk to you first about your new case. You were charged with one count of endangerment, a Class 1 misdemeanor, one count of assault with intent to injure, a Class 1 misdemeanor, and one count of disorderly conduct involving fighting, a Class 1 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause as to all three counts. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have an arraignment hearing on January 23rd at 9 o'clock. You will have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $5,000. If you are able to post bond, you will have the following release conditions. You cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime. You cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victim. You cannot possess any weapons. If there are any orders of protection or orders against harassment that are issued or are subsequently issued, you must obey those terms. You must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release. You may not reside at the same location as the alleged victim, even if you are the owner or renter of the residence. You will be prevented one civil standby with law enforcement to assist you in retrieving your essential belongings. You are also advised that if you violate the no victim contact order in this matter, you can be charged with aggravated harassment, a Class 6 felony. As to your second matter, it's a violation of probation. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on January 28th at 8:30. Due to the nature of the violation of probation, you are not eligible for, you are not eligible for bond today. That issue will be addressed at your probation revocation possible disposition hearing on January 28th. So I would caution you against trying to pay bond at this time because you won't be released because you're being held on the case here in Superior Court.
You ain't going
So that
nowhere.
takes care of everything that we have to do here today. If you will step to your left, the officers will give you your paperwork. Mr. Moya, will you please come into the courtroom? And Mr. Finner, will you please have a seat in the chair?
How is everybody doing out there today? Where are you guys tuning in from? And for anybody that's wondering, this
Sir,
is
can you please state your
Arizona.
first and last name and your date of birth?
My name is Juan Moya, 7883.
You are here on a new case. You are charged with one count of theft of means of transportation, a Class 3 felony, and one count of criminal damage or defacement, a Class 1 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause as to both counts. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference hearing on January 27th at 8:30. You will have a preliminary hearing on January 30th at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $5,000. If you are able to post bond, you cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime and you cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victim. If you fail to appear for your hearings, any bond that you posted will be forfeited, a warrant will be issued for your arrest, and you will be subject to bond again. That takes care of everything that we can do here this evening. If you will step to your left, the officers will give you your paperwork.
Yes, sir. You're on the left-hand side.
Mr. Fenner, if you will please come into the courtroom.
All right. Shout out to
Sir, can you please state your first and
Mamacita.
last name and your date of birth?
I
Thank you
go to defendant 22588.
Excuse me. You are here for three matters. You have one new case and two violations of probation. I'm going to first talk to you about your new case. You were charged with one count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, a Class 3 felony, two counts of aggravated assault against an officer, a Class 4 felony, one count of criminal trespass, a Class 2 misdemeanor, and one count of obstruction and refusal to give true name, a Class 2 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause as to all of those counts. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference hearing on January 27th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on January 30th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $20,000. If you are able to post bond, you will need to contact your probation officer within 72 hours. 72 hours of your release. Now I'm going to talk to you about your two violations of probation. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in both matters. You will have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on January 28th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500 per case. Again, if you are able to post bond, you do need to contact your probation officer within 72 hours. Between all the cases, your secured appearance bond is $21,000.
He ain't going nowhere.
Must appear for your court dates. If you post bond, if you fail to appear for your court dates, any bond posted will be forfeited and a warrant will be issued for your arrest and you'd be subject to bond again. That takes care of everything that we can do here today. If you will please step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
Sir.
Next!
Mr. Orr, if you will please come into the courtroom, and Ms. Soto, if you will please have a seat in the chair.
Yeah, he only has to pay. If he's 10%, if he does 10%, then yeah. But if he's been in custody already for some time, he ain't going nowhere.
Sir, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Zachary Orr, October 13th of 85.
You are here because you have 4 violations of probation. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in all matters. You will have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on January 28th at 8:30. In your first violation matter, you have a secured appearance bond of $1,250. In your second matter, you have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $750. In your third matter, you have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500. And in your last matter, you have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500. So it looks like your total bond between all four cases is $4,000, if I can math, or $3,000. Hold on a second. I want to tell you the
It doesn't matter. I can't post it.
Okay, so if you are able to post bond, you do need to contact your probation officer within 72 hours. You must appear to your court date. If you fail to appear for your court date, any bond posted would be forfeited and a warrant would be issued for your arrest and you'd be subject to bond again. So that takes care of everything that we can do here today. If you'll please step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you.
What do you guys think?
Ms. Soto, if you will please come into the courtroom, and Ms. Johns, if you will please have a seat in the chair.
What do you guys think the next individual that's coming up is here for? If you guys don't mind guessing here.
Ms. Soto, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Go Lakers.
Soto, 10/23/88.
You are here because you have 2 violations of probation. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in both matters. You will have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on January 28th at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $750 per case, so your total bond between the 2 cases is $1,500.
Damn it,
I believe it. Are you in DOC custody?
Yeah.
I just can't see what I put in, but basically the secured appearance bond is so you continue to earn time, credit for your time while you're here. You won't return to DOC custody until these matters are resolved. I didn't get any information about your release date.
What about my court date? When is my court date?
Your court date is January 28th at 8:30.
Thank you.
Imagine, getting
Ms. Johns, if you'll please come into the courtroom.
Getting arrested and then you get streamed and then you hit your people up and they're like, hey, I just saw you on TikTok.
Ms. Johns, can you please
what are you doing
state
on
your first and
TikTok?
last name and your date of birth?
Shanna Johns, 4/10/91.
Thank you. So you were here today because you have 2 matters. You have a direct complaint that was filed, and then it looks like a violation of probation. So I'll first talk to you about the direct complaint, which is essentially a new case. You were charged with 1 count of taking the identity of another, a Class 4 felony, 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony, and 1 count of false reporting to law enforcement, a Class 1 misdemeanor. The date of these alleged offenses is November 13th of 2023. who did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You do have a status conference hearing on December 27th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on January 30th at 8:30. And you do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250. Giselle, on my other one, my note didn't say for the prior one, so I would have to redo that order so that they make sure to keep right here. You have it's a placeholder bond because I understand that you are in DOC custody, and you will stay here until your court matters here are completed. Your second matter is a violation of probation. I appointed an attorney to represent you in that matter. You do have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on January 28th at 8:30. You have a placeholder bond in the amount of $50 and saying you will remain here until these matters are resolved. So if you will please step to your left, the officers will give you your paperwork.
Hey, David, welcome. I think she might be single too, if you're interested.
Wes.
I'm just going in and making the, can I get in to amend it right now?
How are you doing today, Joseph? Hey, Tita, gracias. Appreciate the likes you're sending this way. Highly appreciate it. Joseph also, gracias. Not necessary, but highly appreciate it. Let me see. Court's adjourned.
They're corrected now.
Is it?
Thank you. Mr. Lansford, if you will please come into the courtroom, and Mr. Carmelo, if you will please come and have a seat in the chair.
Betty Davis eyes laughing out loud.
Hello, sir. Can you please say your first and last name and your date of birth?
Yeah, James Lansford, LANFORD, and I was born in 12/29 in 1950.
Thank you. You were here today for a probation violation. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on January 28th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250. It is a placeholder bond. I understand that you are in DOC custody, so this will keep you here. You will continue to earn time or credit for your time, but you will stay here until this matter is resolved. Okay?
Okay.
All right, that takes care of everything. If you will step to your left, the officers will give you your paperwork. Mr. Carmelo, if you'll please come into the courtroom.
Definitely looking like Gargamel.
And Ms. Peoples, if you will please have a seat in the chair.
They look
Sir,
excited.
can you please state your first and last name for me and your date of birth?
Yes, Your Honor. Michael Regis Carmelo III.
And your date of birth?
12676.
Thank you. You are here on looks like this is
You're welcome.
a warrant for failing to appear for a court date. An attorney has already been appointed to represent you in this matter. You will have a non-witness disposition hearing on January 28th at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $750. If you are able to post bond, you do need to contact your probation officer within 72 hours. Hold on. You will need to contact your probation officer within 72 hours. You need to make sure that you show up for your court date. If you fail to appear for your court date, any bond posted would be forfeited, and a warrant would be issued for your arrest, and another bond would be imposed. Yes.
Okay, may I express something to the court, please?
Be careful about what you say. I have appointed an attorney to represent you. The first thing, just listen to what I'm saying. I've appointed an attorney to represent you. I don't make any changes regarding probation revocation because the judge heard the information who issued the warrant. So they issued the warrant and they ordered what the bond will be. So I don't make any changes or anything like that, and this is not a court for argument or evidence. I'm just here to let you know what you're here for, whether or not you got an attorney, and what your bond will be and what your release conditions are. So with understanding the parameters of what I do, state your question accordingly.
Well, I missed court. I had transportation issues. I was extradited from here in Maricopa County to go over there to Pima County. And so I got a letter in the mail, and I was on my way back to court, and I was at the bus stop. So, and I was, anyways, there's no way I can make a bond, and so my birthday's on Sunday, and so
Happy birthday.
I've been released to pretrial justice service before, and I've done fine. And today I am clean, and nothing is going to hinder me from making it, like transportation issues. That's what I was down in Tucson, and that's why I missed court. And so
I will tell you right now that you are not making a good argument for yourself. You're saying like 50 different things that make no sense to me right now, and it does not really give a reason for why you failed to appear for your court date. And that warrant was issued in November, like the beginning of November, and we're in the middle of January, and an attorney was appointed to you. You had your release conditions in the order that had the phone number for your attorney, who you should have contacted. So what you're saying does not make sense for why you've been on warrant status for almost 2 months.
yeah, it was worth a shot. I got extradited to Tucson, and so I didn't have a phone, so that was the issue, making it back. And I was on my way back. That's why I got arrested at a bus stop in Ajo, Arizona. And so
Okay.
that's
I'm
all.
not changing
Okay.
the order.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
So if you'll step to your left,
So I have court on 28th?
your paperwork will tell you what your court
Okay,
dates
thanks.
are. Ms. Peoples, if you will please come into the courtroom.
Happy birthday to him.
Mr. Livingston, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Hello, ma'am. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Natasha Nicole Peoples, January 10th, 1983.
And you are here for a violation of probation. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on January 28th at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $1,500. It's a placeholder bond that will allow you to continue to earn credit while you are in our custody, where you will remain until your matter is completed, and then you will return to DOC custody.
Okay.
So if you'll step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
Thank you.
Mr. Livingston, if you will please come into the courtroom, and Mr. Schmidt, if you will please have a seat in the chair.
Man, this judge
Hello,
moving
sir, can you please
quick.
state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Sean Livingston, July 22nd, 1990.
Thank you. You are here because you have a warrant out of Mayor Justice Court.
Yes, ma'am.
I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a arraignment hearing on January 24th at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $785. If you are able to post bond, you need to make sure that you make it to your court date. If you fail to appear, any bond posted will be forfeited. Another warrant will be issued for your arrest, and another bond will be imposed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if you'll step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you.
So that was what hearing?
It's an arraignment hearing on January 24th at 8:30.
So is that like I could possibly get out?
That's for that court to decide. Just clean it over there. Clean it.
Looking like the brawny man. Like he was just cutting down some trees. But he's in jail. So he won't be cutting anything down.
Sir, can you please state your first and last
Richard
name?
Wayne Schmidt, 71586.
Thank you. You are here because you have two violations of probation. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in both matters. You have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on January 28th at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250 per case, so your total secured appearance bond is $500. If you are able to post bond, you do need to contact your probation officer within 72 hours. You need to make sure you show up to your court date. If you fail to appear for your court date, the bond that you posted will be forfeited. Another warrant would be issued for your arrest, and you'd be subject to bond again, okay? So if you step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you. Mr. Dennis, will you please come into the courtroom? And Mr. Leap, if you will please have a seat in the chair.
Hey, user, thank you. Highly appreciate you sharing the live. That's what's up. Sharing is caring. Send it to those
Sir,
that
can
you
please
love.
state your first and last name and your date of birth?
March 21st, 1999, Charles Danish.
You are here today because you have two violations of probation. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in both matters. You do have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on January 28th at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500 per case, so your total secured appearance bond is $1,000. If you're able to post bond, you do need to contact your probation officer within 72 hours. Make sure you attend your court date. If you fail to appear for your court date, any bond posted will be forfeited, and another warrant would be issued for your arrest, and you'd be subject to bond again. That takes care of everything that we have to do here this evening. If you will step to your left, the officers will give you your paperwork. Mr. Leap, if you will please come into the courtroom, and Mr. Gallegos, if you will please have a seat in the chair. Hello, sir. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Ty Leap, 12/14/87.
Thank you. You were here on a new case. You have been charged with 2 counts of possession of a dangerous drug, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. I did find probable cause as to all 3 counts. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference hearing on February 5th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on February 7th at 8:30. I'm inclined to release you to pretrial services without bond, but you do have to promise to appear for your court date. Do you promise to appear?
Yes.
If you fail to appear for your court date and if you fail to abide by your release conditions, a warrant can be issued for your arrest and a bond will likely be imposed, okay? All right, so if you'll step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
Hey, that's
Mr.
weird.
Gallegos, if you will please come into the courtroom.
He walked in with his hands crosses, and he's walking away like that. Is he just walking around the whole day like that? Who walks like that?
If you'll please have a seat in the chair. Sir, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth for me?
Michael Gallegos, 8479.
Mr. Gallegos, you are here because you have 2 matters. One is a warrant for failing to appear for a court date. You have a, it was not failing to appear. I didn't think that was right. I had to go and take a second look. I'm so sorry. That's not what happened.
Yeah.
It was labeled wrong. You're here because a direct complaint was filed, and you were charged with the following. You were charged with 2 counts of possession of a dangerous drug for sale. One is a Class 2. I'm starting over. I'm so sorry. 1 count of possession of dangerous drugs for sale, a Class 2 felony. Possession of dangerous drugs for use, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. The date of these alleged offenses is March 4th of 2023. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference hearing on February 5th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on February 7th at 8:30. I'm inclined to release you on your own recognizance. You do have to promise to appear for your court date. Do you promise to appear?
I sure do.
It appears that you may be on probation, so...
I just got on probation for Pima County. I was on my way here.
Okay, so the only reason why I'm saying that is that per statute, you do need to contact your probation officer within 72 hours after police contact.
Okay.
So you need to contact your probation officer. If you fail to appear for your court date, a warrant will be issued for your arrest and a bond will likely be imposed. On your second matter, you have a warrant out of West Mesa Justice Court. You are not entitled to a court-appointed attorney in that matter due to the nature of the charge. You do have an arraignment hearing on February 4th at 8:30. Again, I'm inclined to release you on your own recognizance. You do have to promise to appear for your court date.
I do promise.
Okay, so, and again, if you fail to appear for that court date, a warrant will be issued for your arrest and a bond will likely be imposed. Do you understand?
I do.
Okay, so if you'll step to your left, the officers will give you your paperwork. Thank you. Mr. Jefferson?
Moving on up, but not in his case.
And
Eleanor, what's up, Eleanor?
Arichaga, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Hello, sir. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Jefferson, 6/19/1984.
You were here because a direct complaint was filed where you were charged with 2 counts of aggravated driving or actual physical control while under the influence of intoxicating liquor or drugs, a Class 4 felony. The date of these alleged offenses is April 4th of 2019. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in both matters.
No sé.
You do have a status conference hearing on February 5th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on February 7th at 8:30. I am inclined to release you on your own recognizance, but you do have to promise to appear for your court dates. Do you promise to appear?
Yes, ma'am.
If you fail to appear for your court date, a warrant will be issued for your arrest and a bond will likely be imposed. Do you understand?
It's both days, right? The 5th and the 7th?
You have to show up to both court dates.
Okay.
All right. So you understand that you need to show up?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. If you step to the left, they'll give you your paperwork.
Yeah.
Oh.
They couldn't think of anything else. They should have named him Jeff or something.
Miss Margaret, I know I'm pronouncing your last name wrong, so if you will please just come into the courtroom.
Or maybe his first name is Jeffrey.
Hello, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Margaret Archiga, 8/28/2000.
Thank you. You are here on 2 matters. You have 2 violations of probation. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in both matters. You have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on January 28th at 8:30. I am inclined to release you on your own recognizance, but you do have to promise to appear for those court dates. So you promise to appear?
Yes.
If you fail to appear for your court dates, a warrant will be issued for your arrest and a bond will likely be imposed. Do you understand?
Yes.
You also need to contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release. So that takes care of everything that we have to do here this evening. If you will step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
This is Tucson. Not Tucson. This is Maricopa County in Arizona.
Give me 1 second, sir.
Okay.
Yay, Arizona.
Are we clear? Is everybody else?
Is that it? Is it over? Yeah.
Brian Blumstrand, date of birth, February 12th, 1977, is not participating in person due to safety concerns. He's been charged with 1 count of disorderly conduct, a Class 1 misdemeanor. He is not entitled to a court-appointed attorney due to the nature of the charge. You will have an arraignment hearing on February 5th at 1 p.m., and the court is inclined to release him on his own recognizance, but he will have the following release conditions: that he cannot initiate any contact with the victim or victims. He cannot initiate any physical contact with the alleged victims. He will be advised that he will have to abide by any terms or conditions of an order of protection or orders against harassment if one has been issued or is subsequently issued. He will also be advised that if he violates the no victim contact order in this matter, he could be charged with aggravated harassment, which is a Class 6 felony. I will meet with him, and any additions or corrections to the order will be made on the record or in writing. The 5 p.m. initial appearance calendar is adjourned. We stand in recess until 8 p.m.
They're all the iPads.
Yeah, I don't.
I thought you.
Oh.
No, I did. Can you mute me?
What the what? What in the world is going on here? Let me move it here so you guys can see.
Correct, it's a house call, but you stated that you were going to be doing right.
Yeah, but it's the same way as if I were going back there. So if I were going back there to see them, I would have to say what I was going to do on the record before I did it. And then say, if there are any changes, I would just come back and do it on the record. So I could do it the same way, just virtual.
Just let them know. No.
No, we're doing it. We'll just do it and I'll explain when we come out.
Okay,
What is that? I guess they're doing a hearing somewhere else. They have an iPad inside the facility. They did one like this yesterday, where the person was in the cell. I think no, she didn't forget. They did one like this yesterday.
Mr. Blumstrand, you are here today because you, on a new case, you were charged with an account of disorderly conduct, a Class 1 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause as to that offense. Due to the nature of the charge, you are not entitled to a court-appointed attorney. You will have an arraignment hearing on February 5th at 1 o'clock. I am going to release you on your own recognizance today, but you will have the following release conditions. You cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victim or victims. You cannot have any physical contact with the alleged victim. If there are any orders of protection or order against harassment that are issued or subsequently issued, you must obey the terms of those orders. And you are cautioned that if you violate the no victim contact order in this case, you could be charged with aggravated harassment, a Class 6 felony. The officer will give you your paperwork. This concludes our hearing. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
I guess we got everybody. You know the paperwork. We're good.
All right, that looks like it's it for this one at least. I'll probably be back. What time is it right now? It's in LA right now. It's 4:39. The next one should be coming up is gonna be for Pima County, which starts at 6 o'clock. If you guys haven't done so, please do so. If you guys could go ahead and follow my my second account here. I'm trying to get it to 1,000 subscribers. Just in case if this account ever gets hit or banned, I'm able to go live with the other account. Really appreciate you guys. We just hit 15,000 subscribers today. I wouldn't be able to do it without you guys. Let me see. Leonard wrote no lawyer because of the nature of the charges. So one of our other viewers on TikTok, David, was telling me that he wrote this. All right. Regarding misdemeanors, a defendant is not appointed an attorney unless the prosecutor is seeking jail time. So apparently, if they're not seeking to incarcerate them, then they're not entitled to a lawyer. Which is kind of strange to me. I'm from LA. Anytime you went to court, you were always entitled to a lawyer. It didn't matter if it was a felony or a misdemeanor. You were going to get a public pretender regardless. I mean, whether they were going to be effective, I mean, you probably not. You probably were going to get incarcerated, but you got one. Hey, Tita, gracias. Highly appreciate it. I appreciate you hitting the screen. Let me see. Chacha wrote, that's different. All right. And Ashley, thank you. I appreciate that the follow. And the other account there, it's at CollectCallFrom on YouTube or YT. I'll go ahead and hit it on there if anybody wants to follow. I would highly appreciate it. And there it is. I'll follow you guys back on that account. So don't be surprised if you get a follow. It's cool. I know some people got their accounts private, so it's no biggie if you don't wanna if you don't want me allowed to see your account. That's cool. I'm not tripping. So don't feel obligated. Nicole writes, see you soon. Yup. I gotta go ahead. For anybody that was on the stream earlier on when I was talking about the dishwasher is working, just in case you were curious about that. It took me all day. That's why I really haven't been, participating on the streams up until now. It ended up taking me more time than I anticipated. I had to go back to, I went to Home Depot one time. I thought I got the right stuff. I put everything on, and then there was water all over the place. El Junior right there. It's let me put it again. Put it right there, and there it is. It should have popped up on the screen. So are you gonna go do another one? Yeah, so I'll do one in about an hour and 20 minutes. Be the next one for Pima County. So the alternate account is right there, the one that says CollectCallFrom. It says this one. So I went to Home Depot and I got the stuff. I came back, I plugged everything up, and then when I turned on the water, there was water all over the place. So then I tried to tighten everything up, put Teflon on it and everything, and still didn't work. So I went back to Home Depot, returned all that stuff, went to Lowe's, and they had the exact item that I needed. Came back, put it on, and I think I started early. I think I started like at 8 in the morning. I didn't finish until about maybe like 2:30. So I pretty much just spent my whole day trying to get that thing up and running. But it's definitely a plus because then I won't have to hear my wife complaining about the dishwasher not working and buying paper plates because I refuse to wash dishes every day, and she's tired of it. So dishwasher's back in action. She's gonna be happy. I'm gonna be happy, at least for a day or two, till something else breaks down. Then I gotta get to it. Anyhow, hey, I do appreciate you guys. You are watching. You have a CollectCallFrom. I am CollectCall James, and like I said around here, life's like a candle. Once you blow it out, it's lights out. And with that, I am out. Rato, and we'll be back shortly. All right, so I'm gonna put put this stream on private, and then I'll re-enable it when I come back later. Appreciate you guys on YouTube. And with that being said, I am out. Let's see where the hell I'm right here. Bam. Close the chat down. Let me see, turn off the camera.